Welcome in, Buckeye Nation. You have found the Everything Buckeye Nation show here. That's Corey Boyd next to me, as always, looking clean, looking crisp. Corey, normally we talk a little bit before the show. I guess we're winging it tonight because I'm a little late, but I'm glad to see what's happening. How you feeling?
Hey, man, I'm freezing over here, in and out. Hey, man, it's going to be one of those shows today, but we're going to let it roll, let it go, wing it. Supporters are here, fans are here, Buckeyes are here, so let's just have some fun today and see what happens.
Where else would the Buckeye fans be, baby? It's the Everything Buckeye Nation show, and the Buckeyes are 3-0 and looking like world beaters, man. I mean, I was thinking Indiana might pose more of a test than Cincinnati, and I suppose they did in terms of a margin of victory type of conversation. We'll jump right in. Ohio State beat Indiana 51-10. Corey, there was a lot of things that surprised us in this one, especially Damon Arnett, but we'll get to that in a little bit. I can't dive right into it. I almost don't know what to say about this team, which is kind of funny because I am in a position where I'm supposed to talk about this team and conversation. We're almost in uncharted territory here with, I don't know if it's just Ryan Day. I don't know if it's getting rid of a lot of things that surprise cancerous coaches like Phil Davis and Greg Schiano. I don't know what it is, but this team is unlike any team we've seen in the last few years, at least in my opinion. I think it's just different. There's a different feel, don't you think?
I agree. Have you ever been to a point where like your team is really, really, really good, but you're like, man, I don't want to go out on that limb just yet. Like you keep seeing it, you're like, man, we are good, but you're like, you know what? Nope, I'm not going to do it yet, because soon as I do it, something stupid's going to happen. That's where I'm at. Because I want to go out there and start talking all kinds of trash to everybody. Like, bring it on. Because the defense is flying all over the place, aggressive. The defensive line's attacking. Justin Fields gets better every single game. J.K. Dobbins took the FAU game to heart, and now he's running all over everybody. And I'm sitting here like, Chris Olave, man, listen. All right, everybody. I'm sitting here like, but then I want to stop myself, keep my composure, and go one game at a time. I don't want to rush it, but I agree with you. This team, it just looks something different. Is it because everybody's been doubting them? Everybody's crowning the team up north the Big Ten champs before the season started. They may have a chip on their shoulder, but just keep playing the way you guys play. It's exciting, man.
It's very exciting. I'm definitely right there in the up aspect of you. Like, all I want to do is text my very few amount of Wolverine fans and just kind of prod at them a little bit. I just want to poke like, hey, you see what's going on here in Columbus, right? You see what's going on in Ann Arbor, right? Because this team, there's just a different feel, and you can feel it around the program, the players, the staff. I mean, everybody's talking about it. It's just incredibly exciting for the Buckeyes, I think, as a program. I was having a debate with some of my family members today about Urban. Somebody said, and I'll tell you who it was. It was my dad. It was my father. Said, I think Ryan Day is a better coach than Urban Meyer. And we said, oh, hang on now. All right. Don't get me twisted here. Urban Meyer won 3 national championships. Okay. Until Ryan Day comes close to that, I don't think you can compare the two. But I will tell you this: if Urban Meyer was still our head coach right now, as opposed to Ryan Day as our head coach right now, I think Ryan Day has this program in a better spot than Urban would. And maybe that's just me. Let me know in the comments section. Appreciate everybody in the comments here. Of course, all of our supporters, Carrie Lynn, Clyde, Timothy, Laura BP, I know I saw in here. Cheryl Tucker Moore, my mama Tish. Hey, mama. Lee Travis, Jamie Thompson, Cody, Kevin. Appreciate all of you. Julie and Lee Travis again. It's something special. There's something special going on right now. And I mean, I can't get to is Ryan Day better than Urban? Not yet, like my dad, but I mean, that's okay. You know, we'll let him think his thoughts here, but I'm playing the long con game. But right now, I wouldn't want anybody else leading this program other than Ryan Day.
We all could be prisoner of the moment. We could be prisoner of the moment. To me, that's a prisoner of the moment take. I mean, hey, he's coaching them right now, coaching them up. He's doing a great job, but I wouldn't go that far. Now, Urban has built this program, left it on a nice platter for Ryan Day just to go ahead, and as long as you can coach, which Ryan Day has shown he can, and recruit, which they're doing a great job, we will be fine. But there's one thing that I will say that I like that Ryan Day does better than Urban already is mix up the offensive scheme and play calling. That's one thing that I say I like that he does better than Urban. Now, maybe that wasn't Urban's thing. I don't know. I'm not in the locker rooms. I'm not in the booth. Okay. So that may not be his thing, but he's the head coach and he has the veto button. All right. No, I don't like it. Veto. Okay. I love the way he calls the offense. He has defenses scrambling around like, what is this? They're under center, play action. What? Now they're in shotgun. He did a QB draw on 2nd and 6. Nobody knew what to do. Nobody. Because nobody's seen it coming. Nobody. It wasn't 3rd and 5. No, it was 2nd and 6. He ain't did it all game. Nobody seen it coming. I didn't see it coming. That's what I'm talking about. That's one thing that I like that he does better than Urban. Does that make him a better coach? No, not yet. You have to prove it on the big stage. But I like his play calling better. And this offense, man, I tell you, they're just going to get better and better. But Urban said it best, man. Like when you watch Urban on Fox, he still says we. Like they got, hey man, you can't keep saying we, brother. Hey, it's them, all right? He still says we. He loves it. So he loves it. I love it. We love it. Man, I feel sorry for Miami of Ohio. That's all I gotta say about that.
Whew, no kidding. Yeah, man. Urban's even talked like after Ohio State beat Indiana in dramatic fashion. Well, not really dramatic, just beat the piss out of them, 51-10. Urban Meyer tweeted out, "Best thing about 3-0, ... knowing full well the response he's gonna get is the chance to go 4-0." It's like, are you still coaching this team, Urban? I mean, I'm not opposed to it. As much influence as he wants to have in this Ohio State program, I am all for it. I mean, and Ryan Day said so himself. I mean, the media has asked him, have you talked to Urban Meyer? You know, like, how's that relationship? What are you thinking? And he said, I'd be a fool to not listen to Urban Meyer as arguably the greatest football coach, greatest college football coach of all time. I mean, me personally, I wouldn't put him number one, but I don't think you could take him out of the top 5, especially in recent years. Saban and Urban. It's just those two in the past 15 years. So Ryan Day is welcoming the influence of Urban Meyer and says, look, yeah, talk to me. Obviously, it's Ryan Day's first year as a full-time head coach, and that's a big jump. All of a sudden, he's just not calling plays for the Ohio State University. He's the CEO, okay? He's got to make all the calls, all the decisions. And while he is calling the plays this year, I'm not sure if that's going to be the case in the coming years, in the years to come, but he's doing a hell of a job right now. And I think Urban's influence, or at least his advice, can do nothing but help this Ohio State football team. So I'm very excited, very happy. It's a beautiful Tuesday night in the capital city. The Buckeyes are 3-0. We're looking like world beaters. We got Miami, Ohio coming to town, who just lost to the Cincinnati Bearcats 35-13. You may remember that the Buckeyes beat the Bearcats last week 42-0. So I don't know if you're into making bold predictions, Corey, but it sounds like this one could be a 77-13, I guess, if you play that card.
Yeah. I want to get to a comment here over on YouTube. On YouTube, we still do have the Cincinnati picture up because we just felt bad for what we did. So we're going to keep that up as the thumbnail, but next time we will change it. Just wanted to get that out there. Professor Chaos is trying to, start some chaos here with this comment. Now, you do have a random fan out there that may feel like this. I'm going to say it right now. I don't feel like this. I know Jake doesn't, but you may have a random fan that feels like this because I've said it before on the show. I don't understand when people say, oh my God, Urban has got to go. What? But he says, as soon as they lose one game, half y'all fake fans want Day fired. Don't lie. Not me. All right. Now, like I said, there may be a knucklehead out there. There's maybe one out there that may feel that way. There could be one. I know my crew and everything Buckeye Nation will not feel that way. My crew in the comments won't feel that way. But you could have one knucklehead in Idaho going to UDF one day that's an Ohio State fan that may go, you know what, I'm tired of this. It could happen. But I know my crew, the Everything Buckeye Nation crew that be in the comments every week with us, will not be calling for Day's head once he loses the game. Because, spoiler alert, it will happen. He's not going to go his whole career without losing a game. It's not going to happen. I know my crew ain't going to feel that way. I can speak for our crew, but I can't speak for every Ohio State fan in the nation.
That's fair. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's outrageous to put the expectations that we had of Urban Meyer in this program now on Ryan Day, because it was handed over so gracefully to Ryan Day. It was like, yeah, here's an outrageous roster of fantastic recruiting classes. Oh, and by the way, the best strength coach in the nation is staying here. Oh, and by the way, the best director of player personnel in the country for recruiting is staying here. So Ryan Day's just kind of coming in like, hey, I'm Ryan Day. It's my first year coaching. Nice to meet you all. I appreciate all the help. So right now, it's an interesting aspect for Ryan Day because all of the expectations in the world are on him. But at the same time, he has this background. He has this sort of build up underneath him that he can just almost ride off of. And right now we're seeing the fruits of Urban Meyer's labor. This is Urban Meyer's team, okay? And Ryan Day is just bringing a new spin offensively to it, and maybe a new spin entirely. I mean, mentally, all the players say it's more of a family sort of scenario, and that's fine with me. I mean, Urban Meyer was absolutely fantastic. And his approach was more of a dictator type, my way or the highway. If you screw up one time, you're never seeing the field again. And it worked for him. As the years go by, I'm not so sure that's going to be the best way to approach these young players. Because as you can see with the transfer portal, Corey, it's, if you're not getting the starting job, well, I'm going to go play over here instead. Yep. Because I just want to play. I'm not going to stick it out. But with Ryan Day brings this family atmosphere. You don't want to leave your brothers. Even if you screw up, it's okay. We're going to teach you. We're going to mold you into this player that you want to be. And that's just, I don't know. I have a different feeling about this Ryan Day program than I did from Urban Meyer. And it's more of like I don't want to say easy going, but that's the best way I can think to describe it, because it's a little bit let up from Urban's dictatorship. And you can see it in the players. I mean, they're playing. Hell, Damon Arnett, he didn't play worth a shit for Urban Meyer. But now when it's like, okay, here's what you do best. Do this. I'm not going to force you into a certain scheme or anything. Go out there, make plays, do your thing. He goes out there and makes plays, and the linebackers are the same as they were last year. They're just getting different coaching this year. I don't think that's coincidence.
No. I'm with you.
So, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't go as far as to saying Ryan Day's a better coach than Urban Meyer like my dad does, but hey. We'll just say I like where we're at. Okay, I like where we're at. Tons of people in the comment section. I appreciate you all. Give us a like and a share. Head to our YouTube page if you're watching on YouTube. I appreciate you so very much. We need that subscription. It doesn't cost you a dime. Go to YouTube, subscribe, everything Buckeye Nation. You can see some of the supporters, some of the comments there on your screen. Shout out to Carrie, Kevin, David, Julie, Amber Decker, of course. There's a whole lot in here that I appreciate, and I'm sure we'll get to eventually. I've got a thick schedule of what to get to tonight. So I appreciate everybody, each and every one of you. Austin Merrill, Preston Dunn, Kevin Walker, and Robert Collins, everybody in here. I appreciate you. I do want to get to some stats of the Ohio State-Indiana game. It was pretty, it was a little funky early on. Blake Haubeil missed an early, easy field goal. We went down. We did score. And then, I don't know, it was kind of ho-hum early. I think that's to be expected with an away game, especially the first of the year. I don't know. I could be wrong on that, but that's what I think. First away game of the year, everything's a little different. You start out a little slow, especially on a noon game at Indiana, Bloomington. It is what it is. Okay, it's boring, but it was 51-10. Okay, it was just a domination, especially in the running game. Ohio State's offensive line prepared and just paved the way for 306 rushing yards compared to just 42 for Indiana, which means Ohio State's defensive line was outrageously good, which if you're new to the program, maybe you're surprised. If not, I think it's pretty obvious that Larry Johnson is the best defensive line coach in the country, and he's got the guys to prove it. So while the running game was good, it's a good thing that was the case, Corey, because watching the game, I was not impressed with Justin Fields in this game, and maybe that's just me. He didn't have a great game statistically, and you can all say, well, look at the box score. He had 4 touchdowns and this, and that. But Fields, I think we should all admit, this was his worst game yet as a Buckeye. We're 3 games in. Okay, the kid's going to be a superstar. There's no doubt about it. Missed some throws, was high on some balls, was low on some balls, didn't set his feet a few times. I didn't think it was his best game, Corey. And I don't know. I'm curious to what you think, because I can obviously see the talent is there, but I think I'm okay to say that it wasn't his best game.
I think Dobbins did so great in that game that it made Justin Fields not look like he did the last 2 weeks. Yeah, he missed some throws. He had some pretty good throws too, but Dobbins took over. Yeah. Once Dobbins took over, it didn't matter what Fields did at this point. He was missing throws. He missed a couple high ones. I forget exactly who the receivers were. He missed 2. He had a pretty ball to Olave that I was like, my goodness. But to me, once Dobbins took over, it was a wrap. The coaches were like, all right, we just going to give it to Dobbins. It's Dobbins' game. We don't need Fields to do it. So if you had to pick, yeah, this is his worst game. You didn't need him. It was the J.K. Dobbins show. He just took over. Like I said, he loves playing at Indiana. If he can do it every game, he probably would. No disrespect to the shoe, but he loves playing at Indiana. So on merit, it was his worst game, but they didn't need Justin Fields that game because J.K. Dobbins took it to heart, took Indiana's heart, and it was a wrap.
Well, maybe that's just a sign of this football team. It's like if one guy doesn't have it, we are so balanced, which is something we didn't have last year, with Dwayne Haskins. And I think we would all agree that's why J.K. didn't have the greatest year last year, was because Dwayne Haskins was such an elite passer from the pocket and not so much a great runner. So it kind of diminished J.K.'s ability. The whole read option thing is far different in college football than it is the NFL. If you've got a quarterback that can run the football, it's a huge component of your offense. And we didn't have that last year with Dwayne Haskins, and that's okay. It worked out for us. We won 13 games out of 14. Not bad, if you're asking me. But for your running backs, It's a little bit different when for the last 6 years that Urban Meyer had coached, we're pretty much running the quarterback the majority of the time, and that opens up the offense for the tailback. So I think Justin Fields being the dual threat opens up the whole running game, the whole offense really for J.K. Dobbins, Master Teague, whoever's carrying the ball, because the defense knows Justin Fields can take it the distance on any play.
Yeah.
Want to get a couple stats in here, and then we'll get to our Buckeye leaves. Justin Fields, like we said, wasn't a great game. He went 14 of 24, 199 yards, did throw for 3 touchdowns, ran for another. The one he ran for should have been a passing touchdown because it hit J.K. Dobbins right in the hands, and there weren't any defenders within 5 yards, and he was in the end zone. That was the one bad play of J.K. Dobbins the whole game, but I really can't complain because the man took 22 carries for 193 yards. That's an 8.8 yards per carry average. He did have a 56-yard run. That was his long of the day. 1 rushing touchdown, 1 receiving touchdown. It was funny, Corey. You remember his receiving touchdown in the corner, real tight window?
Yeah, a way harder catch. Yeah, I remember.
Way harder. I mean, my guy was wide open for the first touchdown of the game. Went right through his hands. And I'm yelling at my TV saying, "What are you doing, J.K. Dobbins? I thought you were supposed to be good this year." He was like, "All right, give me the ball 22 times. I'll take it for 193 and a score, and you'll shut your mouth as a overweight guy talking on the internet." And I said, "Okay." But it wasn't just J.K. Dobbins, okay? The whole offensive line was just on another level in this entire game. We just ran the ball, okay? Master Teague only had 10 carries.
Yeah, man.
He had 106 yards, man.
I was talking about this, and I seen Carrie Lane in the comments. I'm reading the comments as we go. I can't get to all of them, but I seen her comment. I didn't forget about Master Teague. I was just making the point about J.K. Dobbins. Listen, Master Teague isn't fair, and this is why. This is why he's not fair. We was talking about this when we watched the game. J.K. Dobbins is going to beat you up. Then they bring in Master Teague, who runs like there's no tomorrow, right? That's not fair for that. Listen, I don't care. It's not fair. I'm just letting you know how it is. It's not fair for the defense. Master Teague comes in there. First of all, I was talking to my cousin about this. He might be a smidge faster than J.K. Dobbins, straightaway speed. Because once he broke, they didn't have a chance to catch him. Woo. When J.K. breaks, I'm like, I think somebody's going to get him. I think he's going to get caught. When Teague broke, they didn't have a shot to catch him. He comes in, you're already tired because J.K. Dobbins is beating you up. This dude runs harder. I think he runs harder than J.K. Dobbins. He doesn't care. He's going to run you over. So I didn't forget about Master Teague. It was just J.K. Dobbins was just out of his mind. Then Master Teague comes in and goes, "Oh, watch this. 10 carries, 100+ yards. We got best of both worlds, man."
Talk about a 1-2 punch. I mean, I remember on this Everything Buckeye Nation show last spring, in the spring game, not this past spring game, but last year's spring game, we were talking about Master Teague as a true freshman because he was getting a ton of carries, and we were like, "Whoo, who is this man?" Because he is big, man. He looks like a big man, but he also ran a 4.3 this spring. Ohio State said he was their 4th or 5th fastest player. The dude is 5'11 and 220, and he's your 4th fastest player. We're not talking about some slack Division II school here where, wow, not only is this defensive lineman, athletic, but he's the fastest guy on the team. This is Ohio State. And if Master Teague is running in the top 5, hell, even the top 10 of speed on the roster, I mean, good God.
Yeah, man.
It's outrageous, and it's interesting how each week he's gotten more and more carries in different times. Like, he was getting first quarter carries this week on 3rd down. Like, he hasn't gotten that the first 2 weeks. He's clearly proving himself as you don't want to mess with this guy. Like you said, Gore, I mean, you put it perfectly. You bring in J.K. Dobbins, who runs on you and runs through you and runs tough for 3 or 4 straight possessions. And then as a defense, as maybe a linebacker, you get a relief. You're like, oh, all right, J.K. Dobbins isn't coming on the field here. Wait, who's that guy?
Yep.
I mean, 10 carries, 106 yards, 1 touchdown. Like you said, the touchdown was 40-plus yards, and he just hit the open field and was gone.
Yep.
We've been talking about running back recruiting a lot, how we didn't land the top 2 guys we wanted. Well, it's not too late for that, but at the same time, I mean, you got a guy like Master Teague. J.K. is probably going pro next year. Well, who's going to take the load next year? Give me Master Teague anytime.
Yeah, man.
I love that guy. Just a few more stat lines of the game. Receivers did okay. You know, it wasn't a great game from Justin Fields, but that's okay. Ben Victor had 4 grabs for 66 yards, but Chris Olave, he only had 3 grabs, but he did have 70 receiving yards and a touchdown. Not to mention, right after that touchdown, blocked a punt. Boy, we're seeing. It's been 6 games, okay, since Chris Olave really made an impact. In the game against the Wolverines, he had our first 2 touchdowns, and then blocked a punt, caught touchdowns against Northwestern, made big plays against Washington, and now in the first 3 games of this season, he's balling out. He's catching touchdowns. He's blocking punts. He's like a Terry McLaurin, a guy who does it all, but almost gets more of the credit for it. I don't know. You know what I mean? I mean, this guy is a superstar. I can't say anything else. What do you think about this? What do you think about Chris Olave?
First of all, I love Chris Olave. He's becoming a budding superstar. And I will say this. I know he only had 3 catches. Like you said, Justin Fields didn't have the greatest game. But he may mess up your guy, KJ Hill, from setting that record. Because Justin Fields looks like he looks for Olave first. He's starting to look like his favorite receiver. So he may eat into KJ Hill's pursuit of that record. I just wanted to put that on note. And he's making my pick of Victor being the breakout. That ain't looking good neither, because Olave's looking like his guy that he looks for first. That's what it's looking like. But the passing game wasn't big this week, so we'll see. It's early, but I'm loving Olave. I mean, blocking. He's doing everything. Everything. Only thing he ain't did yet was be a linebacker, which we don't want. I'm just saying. But I wanted to get a couple comments on YouTube. We don't forget about YouTube. Ray Handel said he's in the house. Producer G, did you bow down to his beard yet? ? And Professor Chaos said he runs a large Buckeye fan page on Facebook, and we have to weed out hater fans each week. Hey, man, you got to weed them out. We don't have any hater fans yet in here. We have a couple other team fans, but they come in and they already say we don't like Ohio State. They don't disguise themselves, and we appreciate that. But shout out to you. He also said Meyer was really loyal to his certain players even when they were struggling. I'm not even going to say any names, because when I say names, people get upset. They played a position. You said it, not me. All right. And Ray said Teague reminds him of Maurice Clarett.
I love that, man. Teague does run hard. He's one of those guys that just gets an extra 2 or 3 yards at the end of the run where you think it shouldn't happen. Let's get to our game leaves. We'll move the show along here. We're a little behind, so let me know in the comment section, Facebook, YouTube. Who is it? Professor Chaos on YouTube. Appreciate you. Who's your group on Facebook? I'm curious because I've seen plenty of unruly fans, and I'm curious as to what's going on there. I want to check it out.
Now, I didn't want to poo-poo his point, though. There is people that jump off the rails.
Oh,
but just not our crew. That's all I was trying to say. But I didn't want to poo-poo his point. There is people that jump off the rails, but you know.
No, absolutely. I mean, with a fanfare such as Ohio State football, I mean, it's just one of those. Every fan base has bad fans, and while say one fan base has one bad fan out of every 100 or every 1,000 fans or so, like Ohio State's got like multi-millions of fans, so there's plenty of absolute trash to go around that you can pick on. But Let's talk about our Buckeye leaves. Okay. Tavares Sal says both running backs going over 100. Chris Lyon says, how about Damon Arnett locking his head and shoulders better? Darnell Morgan in the show. Appreciate you guys. Give me your Buckeye leaves in the comment section. I want to hear them. Okay. Let me hear your players of the game. There's a few for me, Corey. I mean, honestly, it could be either tailback, Dobbins, Teague. How about the entire offensive line? And a few guys on defense. Chase Young, Damon Arnett. I mean, anytime you win 51-10, there's going to be a lot of guys. So,
right.
I want to hear yours. Let me know who's your player of the game. Who you giving your Buckeye to?
I had a Buckeye leaf until David Arnett did what he did. Now listen. I got to give my brother his props. He called it. I ridiculed him for making this bold prediction. I said, no way will it happen. It happened. Arnett pick 6 happened. He gets my Buckeye leaf, okay?
Did it? I don't know how to remember that.
He gets my Buckeye leaf. I have ridiculed this man on this show for the past year. I said he doesn't turn his head around. He doesn't make any plays. Have a seat. I don't want to listen. And it wasn't one of those cheap pick sixes neither. You know, you're on the 5-yard line. The quarterback just throws it and you get a 5-yard. No. He was on the other side of the field, picked it off and ran all the way. I got to give it to Damon Arnett, man. I could give it to Dobbins. I can give it to Teague. I can give it to Olave. Olave was my pick, by the way, until Arnett did what he did. So I got to give it to Arnett. I can't hate. My brother called it. Shout out to you. Pick 6 for Arnett. He's playing better. It has to be the coaching because he looks like a different player. He's all over the field. Now, his taunting gets on my nerves a little bit. Every time you make a play, you ain't got to dance every time, all right? You're making some good plays. It's all right. You're waving your hands like you're directing traffic. But that's here nor there. Damon Arnett, hey, my Buckeye leaf. Salute to you. I give props when props is due, and I hate when I have to hate. But shout out to him, man.
Hey, man, I got my sheet pulled up here. I don't have the comments section, so let me know if anybody's talking about Damon Arnett or anybody else. But while you're on the topic of Damon Arnett, I do want to give a quick shout out. Of course, Clyde Boyd called this. You may have seen me go live on Saturday. So I went. We were having a lovely pregame show Saturday morning. Everything was going just fine. I asked for everybody's bold predictions, score predictions, stats, whatever you got, throw them our way. And our supporter, one of our number one guys, Clyde Boyd, says, I bet Damon Arnett has a pick 6. And I about laughed out of my chair. Right here, the same chair I'm sitting in. I said, if Damon Arnett has a pick 6, not only if he intercepts the ball, but if he, too, returns said ball for a touchdown, I will run outside of my dad's house. I'll take laps around the house on Facebook Live. And I'm sitting here thinking, I'm so cool. I have a football talk show. Wouldn't you know? Damon Arnett does this. I texted Corey and producer G, of course, running the whole show, damn here. And I said, you got to be kidding me. Corey said, you got to go live, bro. So sure enough, I did. I went live. I ran 2 laps around my dad's house where I was watching the game. To be fair, I had a few beers and I got right up off the couch to run 2 laps. And people were giving me smack about maybe you should run a little more there, brother. And, that's fine. I guess throw them at me, but I don't think that's fair, but that's fine. It is what it is. Damon Arnett, he said today in the press conference, that's the best play I've ever made. And I'm happy for the guy. Jeff Hafley's doing a fantastic job with the defensive backs. Shouts to Clyde Boyd, of course, and Damon Arnett for actually making the play. 96-yard pick 6. The pick itself was very impressive. It was like
man. I gotta give it up, man. I've been hating for a while. Kerry said, "Let him dance. It could be his thing." Hey, you're right. I can't let you know what. I'm gonna just let it go, man. Just let him have his moment, Corey. Stop hating. See, but do you see how I did that when people can't admit when they hate? Stop hating, Corey. Just let the man do his thing. Just let him have his moment. Let him shine, brother. Let him shine. Go ahead, Arnett, man. Just do your thing, man.
Go ahead, Damon Arnett, man. And you know what? If he turns out to be one hell of a baller, I will sit here and eat crow every day of my life, and I'll be happy for it because good for the kid. I'm happy for him. I'll give my Buckeye leave to the offensive line. Anytime you run for 300 plus yards against a Big Ten team, that's outrageous. Not to mention J.K. Dobbins he was 10 yards shy of a career high. And Master Teague had 106 yards and a touchdown on 10 carries. The offensive line is doing what they're supposed to do, and I appreciate them greatly. So that's my Buckeye leaf. Corey, we've only got, just under 20 minutes here. So I want to fly through the next few before we get to the Ohio State-Miami predictions.
Before you go real fast, YouTube had some Ray Hansel said his player of the game was Chase Young. This guy disrupt every play. Professor Chaos said when your third string DL is getting sacks, LOL. And Travis Walker said that O-line.
Ooh, Travis, I agree with you, brother. Travis Walker, that O-line. Raymond Hansel's my boy. I tell you, man, what a great game. It's hard to leave anybody off of the Buckeye leaves when you win 51-10.
And Josh Robideau said, how about Gus Johnson on the call with the Arnett score?
Hey, if you haven't seen the Damon Arnett Pick Six, go to our page, Everything Buckeye Nation. It's on Facebook. Our dear core member, Carrie Lynn, posted the video, and it was fantastic. It's all over the place, so go check it out. And Gus Johnson's just elite, as he always is. Gus Johnson is my I don't know, I guess my goal, Corey. I'd love to beat Gus Johnson someday. Who knows? But looking around college football this past week, we didn't have any ranked matchups, but that didn't sputter any ranked team from falling. Okay, we had 3 of them. Unfortunately, 2 of them were Big Ten teams. Michigan State fell to Arizona State and their true freshman quarterback and Herm Edwards as head coach, 10-7. Michigan State fell out of the AP top 25. Maryland, dude, I thought Maryland was for real, Corey. I thought they were for real. I was wrong. I put money on them. They were supposed to beat Temple by 7 points. I said, are you kidding me? I put my mortgage on that. But then I didn't actually put my mortgage on that because Temple beat them by 3, 20-17. The other team to lose in the top 25 was USC, who lost to BYU 30-27 in overtime. There weren't any big games. Upcoming games, there are good games this Saturday I'm really excited for. The Wolverines are ranked number 11, and they're on the road at number 13, Wisconsin at noon. Number 11, number 13, Wolverines, Badgers, Big Ten Conference. Sign me up. I'm all for that this coming Saturday at 12 noon on Fox. Auburn and Texas A&M play. Number 8 Auburn, number 17 A&M. That's great at 3:30, but we'll be watching the Buckeyes. The night game also is exciting. Corey, I want to hear your quick thoughts because Notre Dame's number 7 and they're playing at number 3 Georgia. My personal thought is I'm rooting for Georgia because if Notre Dame has one loss, they're out of the playoffs altogether. But maybe it's too early to think about that. Are you rooting for anybody in particular, or are you just watching to see a good game?
Now that you've put it like that, that is very good. Smart logic by you. Kudos to you. Georgia doesn't falter to the end of the season. They don't. Like, think about Georgia. It's not to the end where they mess up. So we're good. If we need Georgia to win now, in the bag. At Georgia too? Yeah. Now, December? Oh, no. Don't you count on Georgia late. No. But right now, yeah, I like Georgia in this game.
I root for Georgia too. I mean, because like you said, Georgia's going to lose at the end of the season and knock themselves out of the playoffs. So they might as well beat Notre Dame now while they can and knock them out. Real quickly to the AP poll before we move on. Nothing really to talk about. I mean, it's the AP poll and it's September. Okay, so it doesn't really matter. But just to, I guess, brief you all on the AP poll and where it is now. Ohio State stayed at number 6 in the new AP poll. That's fine. That's great. That's dandy. Virginia made the biggest jump from number 25 to number 21 because they beat Florida State, who's absolute garbage. So good for them, I guess. It's almost like they're turning the SEC into the ACC, where they're like, wait, one team has a good record? I better rank them. Make sure they look good. Virginia, a top 25 team? Are you joking? Give me a break. Maryland and Michigan State, meanwhile, in the Big Ten, drop out of the rankings. That's fine because they sucked and they got beat. Utah moved up to number 10 while the Wolverines fell back to number 11. They just flip-flopped there. That's just fine for them. I don't think it really matters. But want to move on quickly, G, if we can, to the Buckeyes in the NFL. We'll talk about these briefly before we spend 10 minutes on the game upcoming. Pardon me. The Buckeyes in the NFL this week wasn't as big of a week as it was last week, but it was a huge week for the wide receivers in the NFL. Most importantly, Corey, my guy, Devin Smith. Did you see what happened to this guy? Did you see what he did?
Yeah, I seen him. Looked like the same old Devin Smith I know.
Yes, you are correct. That's the Devin Smith we know. As Buckeye fans, that's the Devin Smith we know. And we haven't seen him in a while, and it's been really unfortunate. I mean, he was a 2nd-round pick to the New York Jets. We thought, wow, that's going to be great. They got Geno Smith. They're going to be great. Turns out, Geno's not great, and Devin Smith tore his knee twice in back-to-back seasons. And we thought, wow, Devin Smith, who was arguably MVP of our 2014 title run, is not going to do anything in the NFL, and that's really a shame because he got hurt. Well, that's not the case anymore, folks. In case you missed it, Devin Smith landed with the Cowboys this offseason and got his chance as like the 5th receiver this week as Tavon Austin was out for the Cowboys. He only had 3 catches for 74 yards and a 51-yard touchdown. And now Michael Gallup, Dallas's number 2 wide receiver, as producer G told me today. Of course, he runs the Silver and Blue Nation. Michael Gallup's out for 2 to 4 weeks. Devin Smith's about to be number 2 receiver in Dallas. It's funny how quick things can change like that, Corey. He makes an impact on 1 week, and now look at him. He might be the number 1 or the number 2 receiver for maybe the top team in the NFC. I'm just happy to see Devin Smith doing well, man. Yeah. It was hard to see him going down, getting hurt.
Hey, man. He's for your team, too. You can't get best of both worlds.
He could play for anybody, and I'd be happy with him. For what he did for Ohio State, catching 3 touchdowns in the Big Ten championship game, catching a touchdown on 3rd and 9 against Alabama in the Sugar Bowl, catching a 50-yard pass against Oregon in the national title game to set up a Cardale Jones QB sneak touchdown. I will forever be indebted to Devin Smith, and he has no idea who I am, and that's okay.
Hey, man. Like I said, he looked like a Devin Smith of old, man. He still got that speed. I think he to me, he's y'all's best deep threat. Like I said, no, that could be me being biased, but y'all might say Cooper, but hey,
no,
the man still can burn, still got it. Dak just get him the ball, Devin Smith, and if he doesn't get it, it's hard to outthrow Devin Smith. It really is. The man can burn.
Woo!
So I'm happy for him, man. Like you said, injuries. You hate to see injuries in the career, especially a Buckeyes career. So let's go, Devin Smith. Do your thing. Keep burning. Hopefully this is the chance you get. You get one shot, as one famous rapper said. I don't know who.
Well, I'll tell you what, if Devin Smith has a baller year this year, he's going to sign for a big contract in free agency next year. And that's all I can hope for him, man. Support your family, support your kid. Do you. It was a big week for receivers, especially in the NFL, not just Devin Smith. Terry McLaurin continued his run. He had 5 catches for 69 yards and a touchdown. Corey, I don't know if you saw this. Terry McLaurin. Now, folks, listen to me here, okay? I know you got us on just to drown out the monotony of your everyday life, but listen to what I say here. Terry McLaurin is only the second receiver to have 60-plus yards and a touchdown in his first 2 games since Calvin Johnson. Now, I'm not saying that Terry McLaurin is Calvin Johnson. I would put that on him. But the fact that he is in that namesake makes me very happy. The Redskins don't have a lot going on for him. I think Terry's going to tear it up this year, no pun intended. And next year, after the Redskins rebuild their offensive line and Dwayne Haskins is the starter next year with Terry McLaurin as their number 1, and Dwayne says, hey, I know that guy. I know that McLaurin fella out there running routes. I think the Redskins are going to do just fine. They got a good defense. And then in the coming years, look out for the Redskins. Not this year, but love my guy Terry.
He might be better. He might be better as a pro than he was in college.
I think so.
For the fact that Washington has nobody. So this guy just stands out on the field. Like, who is that? When he was at Ohio State, there were so many weapons. He goes to Washington, and you're like, ew. Like, who do they have? McLaurin gets out there. He pops off the screen. You can see the skills that he has. So I'm like, man, the only bad thing about it, and you know what I'm about to say, is that Case Keenum is throwing him the ball. No shade to Case Keenum, but come on.
Appreciate everybody joining the show tonight. Yeah, Terry McLaurin's balling out. Paris Campbell, speaking of Buckeye rookies, also caught his first touchdown on Sunday, 12-yard touchdown pass from Jacoby Brissett. Kind of a bummer because I really hoped he would get Andrew Luck for the first 4 years of his career. But shout out to Paris for making it is what it is, and he's running good routes. Appreciate that. Michael Thomas had 10 grabs for 89 yards, even though he didn't have Drew Brees throwing in the ball. That's another story for a different day. We're just talking Buckeyes, and Zeke Elliott had a great day on offense. 23 carries for, I think, 111 and a touchdown. He sure seems to be back in the fold. Let me get a real quick touch on recruiting, and then we'll just preview everybody's score predictions and everything from Miami. You're looking at Eugene Brown III, folks. This is going to be 30 seconds. Eugene Brown III is the latest commit for Chris Holtmann's Basket Bucks. Okay, the basketball team had a great year last year. They brought in a top 5 recruiting class. They're about to be. I mean, while you're enjoying Ohio State football, just think Ohio State basketball is going to be a top 25 team for the rest of the year. They'll probably go to the Sweet 16 in March. Enjoy the basketball Buckeyes because this is the best team you've seen in 5 years. And Chris Holtmann's just adding to it with Eugene Brown III here from Georgia. 4-star kid, 6'6", 185 shooting guard, can shoot the three, can play defense. Big time get for Chris Holtmann. Probably the only guy we're going to take in the 2020 class because Andre Weston's the only senior we have. So big time get for Chris Holtmann. I'm pumped to see it. And with that being said, with the 45 seconds spent on basketball, let's talk football. Okay, Ohio State, Miami. This weekend, the Miami Redhawks are 1-2. Corey, the one team they've beat is Tennessee Tech. Are you worried?
Oh man, no. Not at all.
I'm not worried. I'm not worried either. And a couple things of note. Their quarterback, Brett Gabbert, is a true freshman. He is the younger brother of Blaine Gabbert, who went to Missouri and was a baller with, oh my God, how am I going to forget this? Corey, who is his wide receiver at Missouri. Somebody in the comments will let me know. He was a baller. He's still, man, I do this every time. Nobody pays attention to Missouri, but here I am, a supposed guy who knows what he's talking about. Let me know in the comment section, because Blaine Gabbert threw to blank. I think he plays for the Eagles, or at least he did. I don't know. Let me know, man. I'm sorry. Point is, his younger brother, Brett Gabbert, is the starting quarterback for the Miami Redhawks, who are 1-2, and they're just not good, Corey. They're not good. Okay, Ohio State should roll. They're favored by about 40.
40.
This is a different story. They've got like 27 kids from Ohio, but this is not the Cincinnati Bearcats, who are actually a good team that we made look like a bad team, but they're favored by 40. So, folks, give me your comments. Quick score
70.
predictions, bold predictions.
75-0 says Scott Ewing. David says 70-3. Corey says 49-7. Julie says 62-3. Tiffany says 42-7. Amber says 58-7.
I think we're all on the same page here. I looked up, Corey, earlier. When we played Miami, Ohio in 1904, we beat them 80-0.
Wow.
And it might be kind of close this time. They are favored by 40. Corey, do you have a score prediction and bold prediction? You want me to go?
I'm going to go 59-3.
I'm very close. I think we do score in the 50s. I think it's 56. This is the type of game I don't see a field goal being kicked by Ohio State. 56-10. I got the Buckeyes 56-10. This is the type of game where your starters are out by halftime. Okay, so we can make bold predictions for Fields, Dobbins, Teague. I mean, whomever. The offensive line. How about Chase Young or anybody on the defensive side? I think it's just a complete and utter domination from start to finish. And yeah, I think 56-10 is a good bet. And I guess if I had to pick a player of the game right now, I guess I'd say Master Teague, because he looks great, and I think he's going to get more carries than the rest of the tailbacks.
Sounds good. I'm just going to say Chase Young, because he's Chase Young. 4 sacks. They'll take away a couple, but 4 sacks for Chase Young.
Dude, is there any question through 3 weeks who the best player in college football is? I don't think so. Our supporter Chris Hersey says, FYI, Gus Johnson is that Team Up North grad. Yes, he is, but Gus Johnson is the best in the business, at least in my opinion. He is not biased, and I appreciate him for that. Just as much as I appreciate each and every one of you for commenting tonight. Like and share this post on Facebook. Please go over to the Everything Buckeye Nation YouTube page. Subscribe to that, Everything Buckeye Nation. That's Corey Boyd. Next to me, of course, producer G, who runs the entire show. Appreciate him. Very glad to have him back this week, as always. Appreciate all you in the comments. We'll be back with a supporters video here in a couple days, probably on Thursday. But until then, we appreciate you. Go Bucks. Beat Miami. OH.
I-O. Peace.
See you soon, folks. Go Bucks. Music beat.
Yeah, I think G gone. I think G gone.
No, I hear him.
Oh.
Oh, maybe not. Are we still on, folks? Let me know. We might be. Let me know in the comment section if we're still going. I can't find G. I don't see him. We'll keep it going. He must have had to run to the bathroom, Corey. Because I don't think he killed it. Yeah, James Daniel said keep it rolling. Let's go. We're going. We're still live, baby. Producer G has to go to work very soon, so it's going to be a quick cutoff whenever he comes back. And in fact, I think I see him coming. I appreciate everybody watching the show. Go Bucks. Support the page. Supporters will be live on Thursday. I'll bring you something. Until then, go Bucks. We'll see you later. I think we're signing off. Go Bucks. Ohio. Appreciate everybody.